Good morning everyone and welcome to my first advanced tutorial on Teams, hence the color red and all kind of scary things like that. I'm going to assume if you've come to this advanced tutorial on channels that you have already mastered the kind of the basics. Perhaps you've watched all the way through the basics videos that I put together. I hope you have. But I'm going to assume knowledge for this tutorial already. I'm not going to be going through the basics of how you set up Teams and all that kind of stuff. And the same applies for all of these advanced tutorials, which I'm sure I will be adding things to. Now, I'm going to go straight here at number 3 for adding channels and subgroups, because a few people have asked me about them, and I think they're really quite powerful and might be useful for our live lessons. So I'm going to show you how you can add them, what settings you've got, and what you can do with them. But I'm probably then going to go in reverse, and I'm going to show you what you can do with them first, because I think that might be kind of a helpful conversation. Okay, so when you go into a particular team, and here I am in the staff sharing MS Teams tips, we're currently all in general, and everyone is here. Everyone can see everything we're saying, and if I start a meeting here by clicking Meet Now or scheduling a meeting, then everyone is going to be has the possibility of joining that call, and you can only have one call going at the same time. So if I have 2 meetings going at the same time in the same channel, then in reality there's only actually one, because everyone is actually joining the same thing. I might have worded that badly, but basically one channel, one meeting. But if you have more than one channel, then different groups of people can talk separately about different topics, or just different groups of people can get together. Let me give you 2 examples. So I might want to have in here, I might want to create a new channel that's specifically for talking about homework tips. And so I'm going to make that channel, and then in there we're just going to talk about homework tips. Or I might want to make another channel that is going to be specifically about English department related stuff, and I'm going to make that channel, and then off they go, and they can kind of talk in there. So you could have them broken down by topics, but you could also use them just to give places for different groups of staff or different groups of students to go. Let me give you an example. So I'm going to click on the dots here. Now I'm just going to draw a distinction here. Note there's 2 sets of dots. There's the 2 dots next to the team name, where I can add channels and I can manage the whole team, leave the team, delete the team, blah, 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 blah. But if I move my mouse down, you see that these new dots appear. Now that's just to manage a specific channel's settings. Now the general channel doesn't actually have all that many settings, because general is for everyone all of the time. So there's not all that many things you can tweak in there. But when I make a new channel, you'll see there's a lot more things I can control. So let's add a channel, and I'm just going to call this one G1 to stand for group 1. You can call it group 1 or whatever. I can add a description. And then we've got an important choice. Do I want this channel to be accessible to everyone, or do I want it to be private? If I make it private, I have to choose the people that can join that channel, and only I can add more people to that channel, and it's going to be locked to everyone else, and I can't change that option afterwards, as far as I know, because I was having a little fiddle earlier and I can't find it. And I was thinking initially, when my first thought of this was to set up a bunch of private channels and add different students to different ones. But then I thought, you know what, actually, at St Mary's, students most of the time will do what you want them to do. I don't think we're going to have problems with students just roaming in the wrong channels. So I was thinking it might actually be easier to do something like this. Set up a group 1, leave it standard. There's an important button here, automatically show this channel in everyone's channel list. I would tick that, because otherwise they have to kind of hunt for it. So I would leave there. So I'm just going to click add. And now you can see G1 has now appeared. And we've basically got 2 group WhatsApp groups right now. And then I'm going to add another one. And so I'm going to add channel, and it really is as simple as this. You can just set up a whole bunch of channels, leave it as standard, automatically show this channel, and now I've got group 2. And I was thinking the best way to use this might be that you start in general, you've scheduled your meeting, you're having your group call, you look at the participant list. So if I'm just going to click meet right now, and you've got that button that says participants. And actually, you might not get all of the students that you want turning up. Like you might have thought, oh, I want group 1 to be this person, this person, this person, and then they don't turn up. So I think it might just be easier to go on the group call, right, I'd like Miss Snaith, Mr. Dodd, and Mrs. Wells to go into G1, and I'd like Mrs. Taylor and Mrs. Williams and whoever else might be down there to go into group 2. And off they go, and they will then leave that main meeting call, and then they'll go into G1. And what they can do then is that they can come down the bottom and they can click the button that says meet now, but this time they're just in group 1 or just in group 2, and then they will have a call just between them. So in languages, this could be for a speaking activity. So they're going to go into G1, G2, all the G1 students are going to be talking to each other, all the G2 students are going to be talking to each other. And here's the nice thing for the teacher, is that the teacher can also leave this chat, and the teacher can just join any chat they want while the pupils are doing it. So let's say whoever I said, Helen and Sally are having their conversation here. There's probably going to be a button here that says there's a meeting going on. I will just join that, or I'll click this button and I'll kind of join them that way. So I should be able to join their call and just say, hey, what are you going? Show me what you've kind of learned so far. And then when you're ready, you can ask everyone to kind of come back, because remember, everyone still has access to the general tab. So you may just be able to say, right, can everyone rejoin? Or just pop into each one and kind of go, hi, hi. So that's one of the powers of channels, is that you can make them private, you can make them public, but it's a place where you can divide up your students into different groups to do different things. Now you can take it further, and I'm going to talk more about this in a future tutorial, but just to show you that you've got possibilities here, is you can customize the tabs and the work in each place. Now we haven't talked at all about tabs yet, and you may want to have a play with it yourself, but you can click here and you can say kind of add a tab. And I don't know, I haven't fiddled a lot with them. I'll just put in a Nearpod one. So I'm going to add Nearpod directly to my team. Yes, no, I probably should have done this one in advance because it isn't saying save at the moment. But you can add these different tabs here at the top. I could probably do one with YouTube. So if I add a YouTube one, and then I want to add a particular video, so I'm just going to go Boris Lockdown, because that'll be fun. And we'll remind everyone of the hell that we're going through. So look at that now. In G1, there's no YouTube tab. In G2, there is a YouTube tab. A YouTube tab. So you could, this would be a lot of work in advance, but it would work, is you could set up each channel to be a different activity with a different resource with different things to do. So you could even do one of the things where group 1 has to do an activity, group 2 has to do an activity, and then they swap. Or you could even do something where you have different groups working on different things, and then they have to kind of come back in together. You know, think of them almost of like tables in a class. You know, you could set up each table with a different activity, get them to go and work on it, and then bring them back after half an hour. And you can use those tabs at the top to share different files, to share different ideas, different aspects. You know, I know we're all new to the kind of Teams live lesson at home thing, but you know, think, what would I want to do in class? Okay, can I use channels to actually help me do this? I don't know if I've covered everything here, but hopefully that's kind of enough. You know, so once you click on those dots, you can see that you get all these different options here. You can edit, you can change the name of the channel in retrospect. You can manage the channel by changing who can start things, and there's also little things you can do. Just have a little play if there's anything you want more advanced you want to do. But hopefully that gives you a kind of an overview of how powerful they can be, how useful they can be, and how you could further the normalness of your lessons while using Teams.